You guys have an aspirin? I got a splitting headache. Ah, God, it hurts. Ah, ah. Anyway, all jokes aside, today I'm doing my review for Freddy versus Jason. As you can see, I got my trusty machete here. It's real. As you can see, I'm a very big Friday the 13th fan. Got my hockey mask here. Joining me. Wearing the Nightmare on Elm Street shirt. But I also have a shitload of Jason shirts. So maybe halfway through the video I'll throw on a Friday the 13th shirt. Just to be fair. Got my hockey mask ashtray. And let's get this review started, shall we? Let's put this down a little bit. There we go. Alright. So, Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, saw this when it came out in 2003. Twice in theaters. It's the DVD. How well you can see that. Yeah, the lighting kind of isn't that great. Maybe I'll put the hockey mask down. Alright, is that better? You can see it. You know what it looks like. So this is the DVD. This is Freddy vs. Jason. This was in development hell for about 10 years. It was first supposed to come out in 1987, I think, but they couldn't. I don't know if they couldn't come up with a script or what the problem was, but they ended up making Friday the 13th, The New Blood, instead. But they were supposed to do Freddy vs. Jason around that time, and Kane Hodder was going to play Jason in the movie, but they ended up making Friday the 13th Part 7 and then Part 8. And then they did Jason Goes to Hell, and in the ending of Jason Goes to Hell, the last scene when Jason gets pulled down to hell, Freddy's glove comes up out of the... Jason's mask is laying on the ground. He's just been dragged down to hell, and his mask is just on the ground. And Freddy's hand comes up, grabs his mask, and pulls his mask down. And that's the final scene in Jason Goes to Hell. For those of you who don't know, Kane Hodder played Freddy's glove that pulled the mask down on the ground. A lot of people, I don't even think, realize that. But anyway, Jason Goes to Hell sucks. I hate that movie. But when that came out in 1993, everybody was excited when they saw that movie and the ending. Jason getting his mask pulled down to hell. So, and then we had to wait 10 years until 2003 to get this movie, and I fucking love this movie. I don't know why it gets so much hate. A lot of people complain that because Kane Hodder wasn't in it, that it's not as good, and like everybody wanted Kane Hodder to come back. And you know what? I think this guy did a great job as Jason. His name is Ken Kersinger. I think he did a great job playing Jason. So they went through so many scripts, and I don't even know how many scripts they went through. They went through so many trying to find the perfect script for this movie, and it took them forever. And then finally, Damian Shannon and Mark Swift came up with a good script that could pin these guys together in a movie that made sense, because they had so many scripts that were just batshit crazy. Like, one of the plots was like Freddy raped Jason's mom, or Freddy was like one of the people that drowned Jason in the camp. And then one of them was like, there was this cult of like people that were like obsessed with Freddy, and they were called like the Fred heads. And there was just so many batshit crazy scripts, but they nailed this one with the script. And this is written, like I said, this is written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, who also wrote the 2009 reboot, the Friday the 13th reboot that came out in 2009, which I also saw in theaters twice. I think this is a fucking great movie too. I love both of these movies. I think they're really, really underrated, and they get way too much hate. Yeah, the guy that directed this, Marcus Nispel, also directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake that came out 2 months after this came out. Or, yeah, 2 months. Came out in October. This came out in August. So, anyway, so that's that. Yeah, so let's get into Freddy vs. Jason. This is such a good movie. I mean, so Freddy is in hell. He's stuck in hell. He lost his powers because everybody in the town of Springwood, where Freddy is from, all the teenagers have forgotten about Freddy, and the ones that kept having nightmares were locked up in Weston Hills, the mental asylum from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. So all the teenagers that wouldn't forget about Freddy, that kept talking about him, were locked up there and given this drug called Hypnosil, which was also in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So that was a good throwback to that movie. So Freddy is in hell, like I said. Movie opens up with him in the boiler room. I don't think it's really a boiler room. It's where he kind of hangs out. It looks kind of like a boiler room, but it's not. It's where the parents of Springwood came and burned him alive. So it opens with him explaining kind of his backstory and how all the kids, how he used to be this legendary, killer, and then one day the kids forgot about him, and that made him lose his power. And he says he can't come back if nobody's afraid. So one of his lines of dialogue is, I had to search the bowels of hell, but I found someone who would make them remember. And he's obviously talking about Jason. So he kind of invades. I guess Jason's dead at this point because he's in Crystal Lake. He's buried in Crystal Lake, but in this moment, it's kind of like he's dreaming about killing these counselors and stuff, because he pins one of the girls. It opens after that little scene where Freddy's explaining everything. It goes to Jason, like dreaming or in hell or whatever you want to call it. I personally think it's like his own little heaven, because he just walks around killing counselors all day long. So it's like almost like he's in heaven, not hell. But anyway, he chases one of the girls and fucking pins her to a tree, and then her face morphs into like other counselors. They're like, "Oh, we shouldn't have been drinking, not meeting a boy at the lake. We all deserve to be punished." And then Jason's mother is behind him, and he turns. She's like, "Jason," and he turns to look at her. It's not really his mother. It's Freddy manipulating Jason. So it's like I said. So it's Freddy as his mother, Mrs. Pamela Voorhees. And he's manipulating Jason, telling him, so he says, Freddy, not Mrs. Voorhees, but he's, I don't know what the word is. He's pretending to be Mrs. Voorhees. He's in her body. She's dead, though. I mean, he's manipulating Jason, pretending to be Jason's mother. I know I'm sounding redundant. I've already said this like 4 times, but you've seen the movie. You know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't really need to explain it to you. I mean, who hasn't seen this fucking movie? So he tells Jason, as Mrs. Voorhees, he says, what does he say? He's like, you know what your gift is? You can never die. You've just been sleeping. And he's like, I need you to go to Elm Street. The children have been very bad on Elm Street. Rise up, Jason. Your work isn't finished. As you can tell, I've seen this movie way too many times. This is like in my top 5 fucking Friday the 13th movies. And this is probably my second favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. I consider this a Nightmare on Elm Street movie starring, well, guest starring Jason, you know. It's a Freddy movie that has Jason in it. Let's call a spade a spade. This is a fucking Nightmare on Elm Street movie that features Jason. That's how I look at it. Even though Freddy only has 1 kill in this whole entire movie, Jason kills like over 20 people. I mean, there's one scene in the cornfield where he kills like 6 people within like 5 seconds. It's crazy. So Jason gets the body count in this movie. Freddy, like I said, Freddy only kills 1 kid. It's one of the kids from the mental institution. He escapes with his buddy. And so Freddy kills him. It's a great, it's just a good, like, they did such a good job with this movie. Like I said, I don't know why it gets the hate that it gets. It's a great movie. How else could you possibly put Freddy and Jason in a movie that kind of makes sense, like, without it being like cheesy? I mean, some of the stuff in here is cheesy, some of the dialogue, some of the acting, like, it's not an Oscar-worthy movie by any means, but it's Freddy versus Jason. I mean, what else did you want with a movie called Freddy versus Jason? I mean, I couldn't have come up with a better script or storyline. So, so there's cool scenes in there, like Freddy drugs Jason, and brings Jason into the dream world, where obviously Freddy is powerful and can do whatever he wants because it's the dream world, and kind of kicks Jason's ass. I mean, there's this little part where they make Jason afraid of water, which a lot of people were pissed off about, but even the writers of this movie have come out and said that they never put that in the movie. That was done by like by New Line Cinema, like, or one of the producers of the movie. Like, the writers never put that in the movie. Like, the movie studio added that in. Like, that was not part of their story. But to me, I don't think Jason's scared of water, because he goes in water in almost every single Friday, like, voluntarily goes into the water in almost every Friday the 13th movie. In the end of Jason Lives, he walks straight into the lake to attack Tommy Jarvis when he's out in the boat. I mean, Jason takes Manhattan, he fucking swims to the boat and climbs up the side of the boat that goes to New York. And then when the boat, I don't know if it sinks, but after he jumps off the boat and chases the kids into New York, he's climbing up a ladder out of the ocean into New York. He goes in the water in almost every single, I mean, in Friday the 13th part 7, he fucking goes in the water and pulls this girl down and drowns her. Like, he's not afraid of water. In this movie, I think they were implying that subconsciously, because he drowned as a kid, that subconsciously he has like a fear in the back of his head. He kind of has a fear of water. But that's in the dream world, you know, where Freddy's bringing out his subconscious and like his inner fears and shit like that. But obviously Jason was never ever afraid of water. Like I said, he goes in water in literally almost every single Friday the 13th movie. He voluntarily goes into the water. So in part 4, he swims out, that girl's on the raft, and she's calling her boyfriend, Paul or whatever, and she's naked laying on the raft. He jumps out of the water and fucking sticks a fucking machete right through her stomach. He swims in these movies. He's not afraid of water. So I just wanted to put that whole fucking bullshit to rest, because that pissed me off. But like I said, it's a subconscious fear. So it really kind of pissed me off because all the fans were like pissed off at this movie because they're like, Jason's not afraid of water and like blah blah blah. But like I explained it, he's not afraid. He's subconsciously afraid. So I had to get that out there. I know I just spent like, I don't know, 3 minutes talking about his fear of water. He's not afraid, okay? Bottom line. Just like when the remake came out, the reboot, and the trailer came out for the reboot and it showed him running. Everybody was bitching that he was running in that movie. And they're like, Jason doesn't run. Jason doesn't run. If you've seen parts 2, 3, or 4, he ran in those movies, okay? Before he became a zombie, an undead zombie that everybody's familiar with, like the Kane Hodder Jason, where he doesn't run. That's when he stopped running. in part 6 when Tommy resurrected him and became a zombie. Okay? This is not zombie Jason. This is human Jason when he ran. So he ran in this, and he ran in the original movies before he became a zombie. So all those people bitching, oh, Jason doesn't run, Jason doesn't run. You guys are obviously are not real fans of the franchise, because you would know he ran in 2, 3, and 4, people. Go watch the movies. Anyway, I didn't want to do too long of a video. I wanted to just do like a quick one. Trying to think of some other movies I want to review on here, because I haven't really done too many videos lately. I actually lost my phone. I just got a new one. So now I can start recording videos again, because I record them on my phone. So, that's pretty much it. I mean, they end up bringing Freddy and Jason back to Crystal Lake at the end. And now Freddy gets pulled into the real world. Now he's on Jason's turf. And there's just a great scene where the girl, Lori, she's dreaming and Freddy's about to like kill her. He's like going up her dress with like his finger knives, and he's like, the first time tends to get a little messy. And so right then, when she's in the real world, she burns her hand, which brings her back into the real world, and she pulls Freddy into the real world. And Jason pops up, comes through the cabin wall, and he's just standing there like looking like fucking awesome, just standing there. He's huge. And Freddy just turns and looks at him, and he's like the fear in his eyes. You can see Freddy just shit his pants right there, because he knows he's fucked now. Because he knows he's in the real world, and he doesn't stand a chance against Jason, because Jason is a fucking force to be reckoned with. Oh man. And then they fight for like probably 15 minutes, and that's the whole end of the movie. And there's no real declared winner, because they both kind of die. But then there's this scene at the very end, which can be considered a dream, because it looks kind of dream-like. There's like fog or smoke going over the lake, and Jason comes out of the lake, and he's holding, because Freddy gets his head cut off by the Lori. She cuts his head off. So Jason's coming out of the water holding Freddy's head, walking towards the camera, and Freddy gives a little wink and laughs. So they left the ending kind of ambiguous, like up in the air, like there's no real winner, because they didn't want to disappoint either fans. They didn't want to piss off Jason fans, and they didn't want to piss off Freddy fans. So they kind of left the ending open, like there's no real winner, like they both won, or you could say they both lost, or they both won, or whatever. Or it's just a dream. Maybe they both lost and they're both dead. We don't really know, because the ending looks like a dream to me. So, alright guys, that's my review. Like I said, I wanted to do just a quick review. I didn't want to be too in-depth, because sometimes these reviews can drag on and you get bored and you just like, whatever. So I give this movie, like an A. Almost like a 9.5 out of 10. Like there's really nothing about this movie that I don't like. I think it was done brilliantly. And, I don't know, that's it guys. Leave your comments down below if you're new to my channel. Subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell. Leave me some comments on what you think about my review, and leave some comments on if you agree with anything I said, how you feel about Jason being afraid of water, if you agree that it's a subconscious fear. Do you think Jason won? Do you think Freddy won? Do you like Friday the 13th more than Nightmare on Elm Street? What did you think of the movie? Whatever, leave some comments down below. Tell me what you want me to review next. Whatever. I love hearing you guys' comments. I love hearing feedback from you guys. I love making these videos. I make them for you guys to watch. So until next time guys, stay out of the woods.